Yo. Oh, is that the end? Hey, guys, welcome to Happy Hour. I didn't expect that to go so well. We were just listening to the Utopia soundtrack, and I was talking to Justin about how the guy who did the Utopia soundtrack is also the guy who did the soundtrack for Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency. Did you watch all of those, Justin?
Dirk Gently?
Yeah.
No.
It was a fine soundtrack by Cristobal Tapie de Veer. Let's see if we can play any of this.
Unfortunately, I'm not up on Mr. De Vere's work.
Yeah. How do you feel about stuff written by Max Landis that's based on the dude who wrote Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy's work?
I don't know. I've never seen it. I mean, I was aware that it existed. I guess I just never got around to it.
That's good. I really enjoyed it. Bonnie and the kids are watching it. We're joined by Bonnie in studio, and we also have one John Real.
Hello.
We got a whole crew.
Yeah, man. These happy hours are getting crowded.
Yeah, I ended up talking for like an hour and change to one Matt Donnelly today, sort of sketching out where we thought the world was headed in a post-quarantine setup.
What did you guys solve it?
I mean, I think I solved it. I pitched him on my idea. I was like, look, if I had infinite bandwidth, I would do this, but I don't think I'll be able to invest enough effort to make this work. But right now, there is an unsat upon throne of a single best live streamed magic show. Somewhere out there waiting to be claimed is an award for a ticketed event with up to, let's say, 50 people tops, where you create as amazing an experience as any David Copperfield live stage show extravaganza. And I talked about how the version that I would imagine that we could do would open with 15 minutes where, hey, man, the show's not really started. Let me show you around. It's definitely me on FaceTime. Let me show you. This is me. This is Bryce. We're definitely the only people in this house. Let's walk around the outside of the house. Let me show you this area and talk about how it used to be a nudist colony and all that stuff. And then by the end of the show, you're looking at stuff where it's like, and you in the chat, Renai Gu, you mentioned a 1987 cherry red Thunderbird. Look what's in the garage, and then there it is. And it's like, wait, and you had a dollar bill. What was the serial number? That's right. Look at the license plate or whatever. All of a sudden, it becomes like an OK Go level of coordinated, choreographed. Like you can accept that all of this could happen. You can't accept it given how humbly it began, and it clearly looks like two guys in an empty house.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that there's certainly something there. Wait, is Matt gonna do it?
Oh, I don't know. I pointed out that of the two of us, one of us would physically be able to cause David Copperfield to show up for a random cameo and blow everyone's mind, given what town he's in. So I hope somebody does it. I think there's, I don't know, an opportunity there.
I did love that your ultimate piece of PR advice to him was just producer all over, which is the show must go on.
Oh yeah. That's a different project they were talking about. In fact, I don't think I'm allowed to talk about that one.
I just love the joke that was an expression invented by producers forcing people to work.
Oh yeah. What, was it really?
That's the joke that every agent I've ever had tells. They're like, you don't do the work unless the paperwork's been signed. The show must go on. That was invented by producers who want you to work for less.
Oh, that's funny. Do you have any shows today, Justin?
Yeah, I'm still in the middle of them. Well, big politics day because Bernie dropped out. So, I've been doing that, had a couple interviews, and then decided to make myself some rice and sausage. And then was sitting down and working on the PX3 show. And then it was like, oh, it's happy hour time. And I'm like, oh, shit. I barely started working.
So
this is one of those happy hours where I'm going to head back to the office as soon as we're done.
What was your rice flavored with?
I got the Spanish yellow rice. You ever had Spanish yellow rice?
Oh, yeah.
I love Spanish yellow rice. And so for whatever reason, this is brought out all the comfort food instincts in me this quarantine. So I just kind of keep going back to these things. And so I would make when I was, just out of, my mom's house and I was living by myself and I was like just looking for things that I knew how to make when I didn't know how to make anything. Was just, sausage and yellow rice. And then here's my secret. A little soy sauce on top.
Oh, you and Brian.
Bonnie was disgusted, and I was delighted when I found out that, first of all, here's what you do. This is my new jam that horrified Bonnie, I believe, this morning.
Yeah.
Get yourself a hard-boiled egg, bite the top off of it. Get yourself soy sauce, pour soy sauce on the yellow part. Yellow part's porous. Also, that entire white part is now a cup that will hold a lot of soy sauce as you keep pouring it in. Fill it all the way up until it's saturated with soy sauce, and then nom your way down all the way down.
That's great.
Great.
Because I always do that with ranch, but it's more just dressing. But no, soy sauce. That's good.
Soy sauce on scrambled eggs is one of the most surprising, delightful things I've ever had.
Yeah, I'm down with soy sauce on just about anything, but eggs are. I mean, I'm fussy. I'm a fussy boy when it comes to eggs. I just like my eggs a very certain way.
What's a certain way?
Over hard yolks fried all the way through, and that's pretty much it.
So scrambled is a no-go?
No go, unless it's in a taco or a burrito. I will handle it if I have to barely look at it.
Yeah, and
it's just a filling. And
like you can handle the abstract knowledge that there's egg somewhere in this cake batter, but you don't want to think about that.
So the yolk is cooked all the way through for you?
All the way through. Yeah.
Wow.
So isn't that like two separate products, like egg yolk and egg white, and you enjoy the one and then the other, or which do you save?
In fact, very often I will. If I'm at a restaurant and I get over hard and the egg yolks are just these little, like a Keurig K-cups of yolk, I will just leave them. I will eat all of the egg whites. I will just leave the little pods of
in the
yolk.
Universe where nobody judges you. Do you just order egg whites?
No. I have in the past. Egg whites never taste as good as egg whites that come out of an egg.
You got to sacrifice that yolk.
Yeah, if they tasted as good as eating the egg whites around an egg yolk, then I would always eat egg white. I would prefer egg whites. In fact, the only thing that sucks about egg whites is when I used to live in Jersey, in Hoboken, egg whites were cheaper. And then I moved to California, and egg whites are like $3 more expensive, which tells you a lot about the health goals of California and New Jersey. But I've tried it a bunch of times. Everyone, probably once or twice a year, I'll be like, you want to know what? F it. I'm just doing egg whites. And they're always a little runny and weird. I don't know. For whatever reason, cooks at restaurants never like to cook through eggs as much as I like my eggs cooked through. They always feel like they need to leave a little slime on it.
Do you have a secret code word that you use to indicate just how dry you want them cooked?
No, we used to. So this was the thing on the jury show years ago. But this is when I was with the Go Game, so I was on the road a lot. I was eating at diners and stuff all the time because that's what you do when you're on the road, or at hotel restaurants. And so I would always do a thing where I'd be like, "Hey, over hard." And they'd be like, sure. And then I'm like, so that means yolk's broken up, fried all the way through. And they'd be like, oh, yeah, idiot, over hard. And then my eggs would come back fucked up.
Right.
So eventually I had to come up with, we had a contest of fake names for how your eggs would be. So we would invent a term that did not exist so I could confidently tell it to like
Sahara style or Gobi style or whatever.
So yeah. So what we came up with was broken busted. I my eggs broken busted, and so they'd be like, okay, broken. What is broken busted? And I'm like, oh, just make sure that the same thing as when I said over hard. And they'd be like, oh, okay, so kind of like over hard. And I'm like, yeah, but broken busted. And they're like, oh, okay, cool. And so my eggs never screwed up. And as soon as I went to saying that I want my eggs broken busted, and they had to double check, then that means that they definitely went back to that cook and they definitely told that cook, hey, this dude does not want any runny yolk at all. And the cook actually listened and my eggs came back good.
That's great because essentially what you're doing is you're putting them on defense. I think that's the same thing that worked with, we talked previously about how I can't get enough green bell peppers on my Subway sandwiches. And it wasn't until like there was no amount of a lot of bell peppers that equaled 3 slices or whatever. And then it wasn't until I started phrasing it as a blank, another blank, and a blank. And then I would say, now here's the big challenge. And then I would wait. And then they look until we establish eye contact. I'm like, so many bell peppers that you think it's a joke. So many bell peppers that you think there is no possible way that this person wants that many bell peppers. And even then, I would say maybe 2/3 of the time they get it right. Because half the people think they're like, haha, gotcha. And then they're teenagers who don't care and they grab like a whole fistful and they put it on. And then without a hesitation, I'm like, perfect, thanks. And then there we are.
No, yeah, I like a lot of pickles. So I would always go with just an obscene amount of pickles. An obscene amount of pickles. Usually would get the pickles that I want, but I'm not shy about once they put the one handful on and it's not enough. I'm like, just another one.
Well, and what's great is by calling my shot as so many that you can't believe that's what he wants. I want to be encouraging, so it's like they grab medium handful or whatever, and I'm like, that was a noble first effort. And then I just wait, like good start. What else you got?
Yeah. I think that those are the only. I'm only really, really, really fussy on 2 things food wise, and that's how I like my eggs, fried up, fertilized, and mayo. I'm not down with any kind of mayo and anything. And that's
I have not encountered many people that have the level of aversion to mayonnaise that you and I have. Like, that's something that you and I are kindred spirits in lockstep with the level of one swipe, throw the damn thing out. Like, no.
Where do you guys stand on Miracle Whip?
I don't know. I will never know. I won't know.
All right.
Is that not a mayonnaise?
It's not.
Brian giving a full Lucille Bluth. I don't understand the question and I won't respond.
It's delicious. It's the sweet. It's the lower middle class Hispanic sweet version of mayo. It's the sugar version of mayo.
Whipped up eggs, right?
Kind of. It's delicious.
Bonnie, have you ever had Miracle Whip?
Oh. Yeah, that's what my parents get.
Call it mayonnaise. What is it?
It's mayonnaise.
But it's like sugary, delicious mayonnaise.
I mean, yes,
it's like my joke. My joke is that the way they make mayonnaise is they let Miracle Whip sit in the sun for a while.
Oh, you see, I didn't realize there was much of a difference because it was always they say grab the mayonnaise and then it's Miracle Whip. So I don't know, but you're right. It's sweet. Like, yeah, they definitely throw some sugar in there because America, right?
It's delicious.
All right. I had this idea and I've never tried it and I wonder what it'd be like. Imagine your favorite sugary sweet cereal and imagine putting salt on it. That sounds gross. Also, I'm describing kettle corn.
Fair.
Would that be as bad as you think it would be?
Wait. How about you take your favorite cereal,
yes,
throw some butter and sugar on it.
Ooh.
Now we're talking.
Butter and sugar on a sugary cereal?
I mean, not sugar, salt. I meant salt.
Butter and salt.
Butter and salt.
You guys are just talking about every food that's at the county or state fair. Right?
Yes, that's exactly right.
Lately, I've been eating apples at night, and I use my beer salt on my apple.
Oh.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, I mean, I oversalt everything. I have a really, really, really salty palate, and I've been made fun of it my entire life. All my friends, even in high school, like people would make fun of me for how much I oversalted. everything. My wife makes fun of me for how much I oversalt everything. So there's nothing that I believe is not made better by just a little sprinkle of salt.
Yeah, including salt. Like, can I get a little salt for this salt?
No. There's times where I'll oversalt like something, like a vegetable or something, like a side dish, and then I'll keep it in the fridge, and then I'll just eat that side dish because I'm hungry. And I know I can see the grains of salt on this like carrot thing, right? But I'll be like, I bet you it lost a little pep in the fridge. Let me just get one more coat.
So I know I've mentioned this before. Bonnie knows this horrific secret, and I'm certain I've mentioned it on one of the streams. But my secret shame and something I want live to get other people to try to see if it's as crazy as I think. I got Bonnie's mom to try this, and she agreed there was something there. Celery. Well, What you do is you take yourself a lemon Crystal Light packet, pour it out on a plate, take the celery, you dip it in that, and you bite into it. And somehow the oversweetness of that aspartame Crystal Light mixes with the bitter harshness of and the crunchiness of the. Oh my God, it's so good! You guys got to try. Can we try that? Can we try that?
I think the biggest thing here is the prevalence of Crystal Light. Like that I mean, that is something that I would like to try. I just don't know how often I've had Crystal Light at the ready in the same way that I've had some of the other stuff we've talked about.
Yeah, well, maybe I'll pick some up.
This will have to be in the future because it is not readily available, I don't think.
I used to eat celery sticks with salsa. That was pretty good.
Oh, no, that's great. That's actually super healthy, and essentially you get all the crunchiness of like a corn chip, but with none of the calories. And then, but then all of a sudden, man, that salsa gets hot fast. You've got nothing to cut against the capsaicin in there. But man, now I'm gonna have to buy some Crystal Light for everyone.
You don't need to do that for a couple of months.
Also, Wolf Glenn in the chat was talking about salt keeps MDs employed. This was, I want to say 4 years ago, I found out that there are some people for whom a high sodium diet does elevate their blood pressure, but there are other people where it has literally no effect whatsoever on your blood pressure. So the only downside to all of the salt in the world is that it pretty much scrubs your palate and gives you a high tolerance for salt. I'm okay with that. Also, I'm in the lucky group that is not affected with the blood pressure by salt whatsoever. So I'm going to have all the salt.
I've always been made fun of my entire, again, from high school. We were like, you're going to have heart disease. You're going to have high blood pressure. I literally was just there at the doctor's office 2 weeks ago before this coronavirus stuff happened just to get my regular ass checkup. Perfect. Doing great. They were like, oh man, you're doing great, man. This is good for you.
I mean, once I heard that, I'm like, man, not only do I get to guilt-free indulge in this, but I get to be self-righteous too. This is the best.
Oh my God, dude. I was like getting up on stuff like Stone Cold Steve Austin with 2 iodized salt things and just pouring them both in my mouth. Cheers in them. Oh man, it was the best.
Although for the record, I will say I will always go for regular table salt over like the sea salt, the big granular like things.
Man, look, when you love salt, you love all that salt.
Yeah, I can do them all right, but if I'm going to get specific about it, it's really dependent on the situation. Sometimes you need that big rock salt because you want that big salt explosion. Like these are the orders. These are the IEDs of salt. That you just put those all over something. Next thing you know,
your ribeyes, you want that butcher salt. You want those big old your what do you call it? Like them pretzels. Yeah, you want those big old hard looking like astronauts.
Now let me ask you this: if we're taking off popcorn salt from the table, which is ultra fine, right?
Yep.
But you're just making popcorn in your house. Do you go with the thicker salt, the chunkier salt, not rock, right? Like that, not on like a prime rib, but something a little bit more granular, but definitely a little pebbly? Or do you go with the finer table salt?
Always bigger, rockier. And if I can, I like grinding that on there because you get to set the tightness on there. Also, shout out to Wolf Glenn 99 in the chat. Are you down with pink Himalayan salt? The
Yeah.
best. The best.
Yeah.
On your tofu, it turns it because it's got that heavy sulfur content on there. If you want to make a faux eggs with tofu, a little bit of turmeric and that stuff, best ever.
Wait, you're talking about black salt though. Not
What's?
the-
Oh no, I am. I'm talking Himalayan black salt. You're right.
Yeah, but the pink salt
Yeah,
we
fine.
use all
that's
the time
fine. No,
too.
no, no,
It's
no, no,
good.
no. The black salt is the jam.
Yeah.
That heavy
I think
sulfur.
Yeah.
That was Ashley, right? Ashley,
Yeah.
one of she first cooked the tofu stuff. That's
Yeah,
what she
no,
brought.
we continue to use that recipe. A bit of turmeric, a bit of liquid smoke, a bit of soy sauce, and a decent shaking of that black Himalayan salt for the sulfur on there. It's amazing.
So, Brian,
Yes.
you and I have been married, what, 22 years?
Yeah.
22 years now.
Are they
20
asking each other?
Yeah.
Not 22 years long enough.
I know. Well, before you, I was dating this guy.
What?
I
Yes.
don't believe this.
Exclusive.
Already the story sounds
Exclusive.
impossible.
It's true. It's true. And we would go to Whataburger because they were open late, and he would get the taquito and open the salt thing, and he would hold it between his pinching fingers and then flick the salt with his pinky to get the salt to mist over the taco just right. And I found that so offensive. I'm pretty sure I broke up with him over that.
You know what's funny is you've told me this story before,
Yeah.
and since then I have hidden from you that I do the exact same thing.
You do not.
Yeah, it's you
Box
can
are
miss it
getting
just right.
dropped.
What?
Marriages are being put to the test. A 22-year bond is now
she's talking about
on
here.
the line.
This is the sound that Bonnie hates, and it's this.
Oh, like a little salt packet?
Yep.
No,
you tear off just the corner,
See-
and then you just do this.
I like those, and I like super thin salt because I want my salt to be like, I'm like a fine painter. I want it to go exactly where I put it, especially like, if I'm drinking beer, I want it just around the rim,
Man.
super fine salt.
There was a moment that I was worried you were going to steal my girl, but now I'm not worried anymore.
Yeah, you absolutely.
Like,
You have
now there's no
zero
chance you're going to
fear.
steal Bonnie.
fine salt.
Yeah,
Back
and
off, ladies.
and the pepper, too. Lots of pepper.
Okay, now for pepper, I'm a 2-to-1 pepper guy. Like, I don't understand why salt and pepper come in the same size packages, because clearly it takes 2 to 3 times as much pepper to have the same effect as one package of salt.
I get the Costco size of pepper,
Yeah.
like the big plastic square thing, and I just use that straight on my salads.
I remember
it.
in my early 20s having my mind blown when I figured out, wait a minute, pepper. That's like a peppercorn. It's like a seed. It's a spicy seed. It's a living thing. And a spicy seed. You're putting spicy seeds on there. Salt. That's a rock that we eat. Why are we eating this rock that we dig out of the ground?
And if we don't eat it, we'll die.
That's the other weird part. Look, it's super, super weird.
There is no doubt. I'm actually just, when we're talking, I'm like, I got to buy popcorn salt.
That bright yellow
Just bought popcorn
monstrosity.
salt. Yeah, the pop. And I wanted there's a bunch of fancy super fine. But I'm like, no, I want popcorn salt out of the most plain generated out of
what is it, like
whatever the
Rico's,
program
the
that
same-
Microsoft bought to make Microsoft Word, just garbage. It looks like garbage and it tastes like heaven. What are other items? Because there's a few in my life where I don't trust it unless it is a shittier version. Like what John, you were saying about
Nacho
Miracle Whip.
cheese.
Yes.
Nacho cheese has to be shitty. There is a spicy Italian dressing that is only found at the shittiest of Italian restaurants. You've got to hunt, because I'll bet you this is in the before you complete your order, in the back of the Cisco card that the manager has to fill out before he mails it in and gets his order. But I would kill a hobo to get a jug of it. And I'm sure that's the only way it's sold, is in an industrial jug, because that's all I saw it at the first pizza place that I worked at, and I would just devour that shit.
Isn't that dressing that's basically half oil?
also known as dressing.
Huh.
Oh, you know what? I bet it is powder and you add the oil. And so it probably comes like in a huge box, not a jug.
No. It's a jug because I've seen the jug. It was at the pizza place that I worked at, but it was like, so it was a
Justin's like, don't describe to me the face of God. I've seen it.
Oh, man, it's not a myth. I've seen it.
Justin only has eyes for jugs. Is that what I hear?
Jugs, baby. Even as a married man, I'm on the hunt for jugs, bitch.
Jugs, gotta get them jugs.
Jugs. But what else? What else is another? Oh, you
wait! I know.
I mean, ramen is that way. I'm glad it's just us girls here because freaking Bryce and his highfalutin ramen shit. No,
I have been
no. This has got to be that garbage ramen.
Yeah, I'm from LA. I have been dragged and pulled into every great ramen. No, dude. No. This is no. This is the place, John. And we eat ramen. And I'm like, so it's just warm salt water. That's it. Every fucking time I'm like, it's the exact same thing. So just get the packages.
I don't understand. Like, I gotta think about strawberries. I don't like strawberries. Everyone's
Brian's afraid of them.
Brian, everyone's convinced that they're like, well, you haven't had these strawberries. And it's like,
who says that?
All of you, everybody, literally everybody, every single person on the planet. And it's so unfortunate because I'm like, you don't understand. It's like, you don't like poop? I understand. Most people don't like poop. You've never had this poop. And it's like, I'm still not going to want to eat poop.
Is it just because it's like a dry fruit?
No. It's too sweet. Anything too sweet, I don't dig. Like, the only reason I can handle citrus is because it's got that sour tang to offset it. But that's why I'm a veggie guy.
Do you know there are tribes, excuse me, there are tribes and the men don't eat fruit like strawberries because it looks too much like the feminine organs, and they are afraid they might become more feminine because they eat the berries like that. So that's what I think. I think you just feel like you're too masculine for strawberries, and you're just like, ooh, strawberries.
Sure. Also, it's super gross, and I hate it. Also, everything every candy that's strawberry flavored is like just if yellow is a color, every candy is a neon highlighter, and it just makes it even more gross. It's gross.
Well, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I can see strawberries are hard because I could see having a bad experience early in life with like a mushy ass strawberry and just being off it forever. Because there have been times where I've eaten a strawberry and I like strawberries. I think they're fine, but like you eat them, and you're like, oh God, too high risk.
Or like a super dry, like almost carrot strawberry.
Had I ever encountered such a thing, I probably would be able to tolerate it as long as I didn't remember that I was eating a strawberry.
I'm gonna throw this at you. This idea that I had last night. I want you to fill it in if you can.
All right.
You know those clementines?
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
They are the peel and eat shrimp of the fruit world.
Yes.
Yep.
Oranges are bullshit. Once you've had clementines.
Oranges are crab legs.
Yeah.
Oh, it's about the process. Like you want the same amount of meat, but for everything to take longer and be more difficult to get to.
Yeah. Oranges are bullshit.
Yeah. I mean, I like oranges, but I'm not going to fucking peel.
Yeah.
The God, you my fucking boss, you piece of shit. I mean, I have
it's a part-time job.
Oh, God. And then you get them unpeeled and they taste bad. So you want to know what? Fuck oranges. Oranges are also the thing that really fall apart first in a fruit salad. You get tossed a fruit salad and you're trying to eat it. Oranges are always the thing that are way too soggy and bad. I don't think I've ever had a good orange in a fruit salad ever.
Yeah. Where are you at on
oranges are done. You heard it here first.
Yeah, canceled. Oh, hey, speaking of being canceled, Brian, you want to hear some entertainment news?
Yeah.
All right, Brian. We've talked long and hard about how much all of the entertainers, the big A+ entertainers of our age, now they're on our level. And it may not be a great time to brag about how good we are at it as our video is chopping, but we are still better than Ellen DeGeneres because at least we haven't gotten canceled. Here was a joke.
Wait, what?
What?
Ellen DeGeneres had the following joke while recording at her house. One thing I've learned from being in quarantine is that people, this is like being in jail is what it is, DeGeneres said. Quote, but that's mostly because I've been wearing the same clothes for 10 days and everyone here is gay.
Ooh.
Oh.
On several levels. There was like 4 different demographics that got wow.
Yeah, but also she is in a privileged position to make a gay joke because she is gay.
Privilege, Brian, is a very interesting word.
Rich white girl compares herself to a prisoner.
Good. You know what? Makes sense. Did anything actually get canceled, or what happened?
No.
Okay.
She's internet canceled, which means that a lot of people are upset on the internet, and then she'll, come back with her show when they're allowed to shoot it again. But that was the joke. A joke gone wrong. Finally, there's at least something to chew on, because a joke gone wrong, that used to be a 12-hour news story in the before times. So, I'm glad we're at least getting that, and we're not just talking about whether or not somebody else from Tiger King said something on a radio.
Oh my God! I saw a big old bubbling up of moral. I don't know. It wouldn't be Bible thumping. Some whatever the secular Bible thumping would be of
Carl
those
Sagan thumping,
who are disgusted. I tell you, disgusted with America's infatuation with Tiger King. I must have seen 3 articles today that was nothing but shaming the series and anyone who liked it, and just nothing but moralizing over it. And I was like, y'all can get bent, man. You ain't seen a tiger. Tiger ain't seen a man. Get out of here.
Well, I mean, so number one, you have to expect a certain amount of backlash. It apparently officially became the most popular thing in the history of Netflix today, as it had stayed at number 1 for longer than anything ever had. And I guess there's some viewership numbers that are suggesting that it was watched more than Stranger Things season 2. And who knows exactly where that train's going to stop. So you had to expect some kind of backlash.
Yeah,
right?
I've had deep dive.
That big criticism.
Yeah, I've had deep dive videos, and when they get a little bit popular, I'm like, ooh, awesome, yes. A lot popular, great. A little more popular, I'm like, oh shit, here it comes.
Yep.
Here it fucking comes.
Yep.
No matter how deep and accurate your dive is, you are wrong about something that is fundamentally awful.
Yeah, let me take a look and see on Google News how many of the trending things. I guess today was just the day. It was the day for everybody to have a backlash on that. You know what it is I think that it did very, very well, and then they announced today that there would be, or yesterday, that there would be some extra, 1 hour thing.
Although, I really don't know if that's true, because I think it was only that Jeff Lowe dude who was like, "Hey, there's another episode coming," and that's that.
Yeah, here we go. Look at this. Look at this garbage. The most watched show in America is a moral failure. The crass pleasures of Tiger King. What else?
Back in my day, we used to watch high quality things like Big Bang Theory, which were retread 1980s jokes.
Oof. You've seen the Big Bang Theory where they remove the social proof of the audience laughter.
Oh yeah,
it doesn't hold up. I got sucked into that terrible documentary, Tiger King.
So, is the criticism the product, or is the criticism the support and fandom?
The fandom.
I think because I kind of feel like if Tiger King, let's say Tiger King, it's in the 90s, right? And in the 90s, spoiler for the new episode of my a Bizarre Mental Breakdown podcast, Crystal, but I talk about Kurt Cobain dying and the difference between where that documentary Kurt and Courtney was when that was released in the late 90s versus where, if something like that happened now, how much of a supernova that would be on YouTube and stuff like that. But let's say Tiger King came out in the 90s and it was just one of those things that people who loved curiosities tape traded, right? It was just a doc like any other doc in the 90s where you were just like fans would know, and it would be a cult hit. Maybe somebody would wear a Tiger King t-shirt on Letterman, but that would be the ceiling of it. I kind of feel like it doesn't get. There's nobody that's going to come out and say, "Oh, the moral failings of Tiger King." Right? It's just going to be a thing that some people like, and yeah, everybody understands it's kind of trashy, but that'll be that. Like, it's so amazing at what success does to warp the vision of the initial idea.
It's the band that you love while they're indie and hate when they're mainstream.
Well, it's like, what was that song? Skeet Skeet, from the windows to the walls.
Yeah, Lil Jon and the East
Lil
Side
Jon,
Boys.
like when that was just a whatever, like whatever, it's a dirty trashy. But when we all loved it, when it was like the #1 played tune on clubs, it's like, ooh, maybe we should be a little ashamed.
All right, so here, this headline says,
course, #1 for you. Speak for yourself. I still got in the East Side Boys.
The Showbiz cheat sheet headline reads, Tiger King, Rick Kirkham claims Joe Exotic wanted to bring back the saber-toothed tiger. #1, why is that noteworthy? Because is there anybody who doesn't want to bring back the saber-toothed tiger? Like, how is that even a headline? Is that
bloggers need readers, bro?
Is he weird for that? Am I weird for also believing that we should have the saber-toothed tiger back?
Also, we're even taking him serious, right? This is the also drug-addled television producer that's saying that he wanted. It's like, yes, while smoking meth with Joe Exotic, at some point he mentioned, man, I'd like to bring back a saber-toothed tiger, man. I'd love to do it.
I didn't read that article, but I'm betting that was an editor's decision. Like, let's just throw Sabretooth in the title.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, no, I'm sure that dude's saying literally anything to anyone. I'm sure he's taking every media request. He's answering emails from every blog. We could email Kirkham right now and probably get an answer to something if we wanted. Like, that's my point.
Man, that is wild. I don't know that I want to break that barrier though. Like, I don't want to actually consider any of those people human beings. I only want to enjoy them as fictional, real people trademark.
You want to know what? It's the same reason why I don't like doing candidate interviews on politics.
Oh, like, really?
If I were offered the opportunity to interview big candidates, I would probably do it at least once, but I don't know if I would do it more than once just to prove that I could do it and to get the listeners. Or if I did do it, it would literally just be because those bring in larger listenerships. But I hate them. I hate doing it because I can't separate, like, either A, I'm going to think less of them because they're doing their job, which is to use me as a conduit to get their message out.
Or you'll hate yourself for the way you talk about them, knowing that they're a human being.
Yeah, or I'll have a bad interview. And I've had plenty of bad interviews in my life. I know what bad interviews look like. I know that I don't like doing them, and I would rather do the show that I'm doing that has an audience than take it into a different direction. It's the same reason why I think with Night Attack and NSFW show, at a certain point, we made a conscious decision that, like, hey, look, if we can make famous friends and have our famous friends come on, that's great. But just bringing on a celebrity, like, the show's too weird.
Hold on. Name one Coppola where we made that decision. I'm sorry, what?
To be honest, Coppola, like, that was an awkward one. That turned out to be something that was memorable and fun.
Yeah.
There were other voice actresses that were talking shit about us on Twitter that I have less good feelings for.
Other okay, never mind.
Unremembered voice actresses, I'm sure that they're very, very nice in other worlds. And look, I'm not saying that our world is easy to immediately jump into, right? Like, it's a live thing. There's no pre-discussion about stuff. People are just being called. We're already in like 10th gear, and they're literally just getting started. They have no idea who the fuck we are. So it's like, it's hard. That's a hard thing to do. But
do people still think you're scripted?
Have people ever thought we were scripted?
No, we get that on the Mono Rogue side of things, though, and the energy is very close. Like, imagine if we went back and re-edited every moment so that there was no talking over each other and that we undid every time. We were able to back up and give everything clean and direct or whatever. It ends up, with Mono Rogue having this, what some people perceive as scripted, but it's only odd insofar as there's no semantic crutches, there's no flubs, and there's this easy back and forth, because we'll reshoot a thing and it'll be a different MacGuffin every time we do the take, and we'll just use the one that happened to be the cleanest, and as a result the whole thing is like, well, nobody is that clean all the time, so this must be scripted, is what people are left with.
Yeah, I mean, and that's I guess like the theme of this conversation is like audience perception, right? And then the perception to the audience perception. So it's like, for you guys, it's, oh, wow, they're too polished, it has to be scripted, and not like, oh, that's what chemistry looks like. Or like with Tiger King, you watch it and you're like, oh, well, this is great because it's trashy. And I love how eloquently they string together all of these ne'er-do-well weird characters, and this is really what I think is kind of the secret sauce of Tiger King. Everyone shows their ass. Like, there's not a lot of people that are like guarding things, or even if they think they're guarding things, they're comically not doing it. Where like the moment of like Carol Baskin saying like, no, if you want a tiger to eat somebody, you pour sardine oil all over.
Sardine oil.
Yeah.
And it's like you look at that and you're like, oh my God, these people are so honest. These people are revealing these sordid, weird lives that they lead to us, and that's why you're drawn to it. And while that is there, and so that comes out as like quality or unturnawayable, now the second brigade of people that are like, oh, I watched what I was told was an amazing, great documentary, and look, it's just this pile of trash, just a trash heap with bugs in it.
Well, also, I think the documentary is, I don't think it's a bad documentary. I think the documentary comes close to being truthful, but that's a big problem. Most audience members don't understand that a documentary should be truthful, not factual, because factual isn't a documentary. It's not a story. It's just a book with data.
Right.
Well, and that's the one thing that I swear to God, at some point we'll stop talking about Tiger King. But
no,
that just makes us the rest of the world. The thing about Tiger King, and you will know it if you watch a lot of documentaries, is what it avoids is all the characters are just saying things, right? Joe Exotic is like, he's got a cult, I got a cult, we're all cult leaders, I guess. Whereas normally in another documentary, you would have somebody say like, all right, describe what life was like. It's like, oh, well, we all shared everything and many of us were sleeping with the leader. And then you'd have subtitled off camera, the filmmaker going, so would you consider that a cult? And then you'd have the person like just kind of look long into the camera and then cut. And visually that reads as they know it's a cult, but they don't want to say it, whether or not that's exactly what that moment meant or what it was. But Tiger King gets to avoid that because everyone just says like, yep, I got multiple partners. Yep. Turns out my husbands weren't gay. I just gave them enough trucks and meth.
The one time that they do exactly that move is when they do the hard cut from the sheriff talking about like, so anyway, when you do a lot of meth, for some reason it goes straight to the teeth and all your teeth fall out. Hard cut to boyfriend, husband with no teeth, just without saying anything, then move on to the next thing.
Yeah, although they went on to admit on camera that they were smoking meth, so it's like at the end of the day, that's shorthand. Like it wasn't. I think the dirtiest things that documentaries do often are using those moments of admission or visual like stammering or something like that to in the context of the larger work, it looks like something that it might not be.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I don't think this documentary did a lot of what I would call Michael Mooring.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Well, Michael Moore, again, it's like you look at Michael Moore now, especially now that we have so many more docs and you can kind of see such a larger like a breadth of work. And you're like, oh, Michael Moore did video essays that were kind of parodies of documentaries.
Yeah.
And that's fine for the points that he was making, but it's like, they're not actually like,
yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter how much you talk like this. I was just trying to do a thing.
Yeah, him and who's the other guy that's canceled now? What's the Super Size Me guy?
Morgan Spurlock. Yeah.
Oh, wait. How did Spurlock get canceled?
Oh, he canceled himself. He's like, by the way, #MeToo. I'm guilty. Bye.
Of what?
Harassing people he worked with.
No. Right.
So he stepped away. He's like, I'm donezo, by the way.
He pulled an Al Franken?
Yeah, he's like, I'm donezo. Please release my second Supersize movie, which they eventually did after like 3 years.
Oh, is there something people in the chat are asking about Louis Theroux? Is there some kind of Me Too thing on that? Or
I don't know. Who the fuck is Louis Theroux?
Louis Theroux did the documentary My Scientology movie, and he's done some other BBC stuff. He
did like 6 episodes of a religious cult documentary.
Yeah, he also had covered Joe Exotic for his documentary and called Tiger King a masterpiece. I don't know why he's in the news, though.
Well, maybe they're just asking in regards to Tiger King.
Yeah. Let's see. Louis Theroux says the murder allegations about Tiger King's Carole Baskin seem, quote, very unlikely. Louis Theroux reveals Joe Exotic said he'd kill all of his animals if his park went bankrupt. I mean, look, I have no doubt. Like, is there literally anything that you wouldn't believe Joe Exotic said at some point?
The funny thing is that like all of the headlines of like what Joe Exotic was really like, if you just read it in his voice, they're just like, well, I'd fucking kill all these animals if his park went up. It's like, oh yeah, okay, I could hear him saying that.
Yeah, right? It was just a general question about his style. I rather liked my Scientology movie.
Yeah.
I felt like it could have gone deeper, but unfortunately was not granted sufficient access to make that as interesting as it could be.
And even the subjects who were on his side and helping him were like, yeah, I don't want to reveal just what a crazy fucked up person I am.
Yeah. Well, that's true. I mean, that's quite literally the whole mechanism was designed to gather things people were most ashamed about.
I'd love to help you, but that would mean admitting all the crazy abuses that I committed under Scientology.
Yeah, there we go. So he did a 2011 documentary on Joe Exotic, apparently, and America's Most Dangerous Pets, and it's on Netflix and BBC iPlayer.
Oh.
And of course features one Joe Exotic.
Oh, so now we got the hipster answer. It's like, I prefer the Theroux documentary about
Yep.
Do you like it when they do that to you?
No, we don't encourage that. If he was to get you, he would not kill you and eat you right away. He's going to torment you. So if you were to get in there and I was out here trying to get you out, he would be on top of you, covering you up because you're his. I'd just shoot you. It'd be more humane.
You would shoot me in the head?
Yeah. Because I'm not going to get you back, so I'll make you suffer. If I ever got attacked by a lion like that, shoot me, please. Yeah, that would go on for hours, unless you shot the lion.
Yeah, that would make more sense. Shoot the lion.
I love that we have the hipster response, though. Like, I prefer the Louis Theroux documentary.
Man, I'm going to save that one for the next time that people are allowed to talk to each other in person or at a party. That'll be great. I can just drop my like, oh, I don't know. I haven't seen Tiger King yet, but I very much prefer the Louis Theroux Pats.
It's the Grey Gardens of Tiger movies.
I'm sorry, I don't have a TV or a phone or internet.
What else? Any other entertainment news?
No, I think it was just the Ellen DeGeneres thing that.
Okay, pretend I'm a little kid. Why is Bernie Sanders out?
Oh yeah. Okay.
I'm 12 years old, guys.
Wait, we're not picking sides here, but can we talk about the gymnastics that everybody's doing for why they're suddenly on Team Biden? Like everybody feels the need on Twitter to purify themselves, to come out of the cleansing fire and say, either a version of I was always on Team Biden, Joe Biden, or this like justification exercise where they're all like, guys, now's not the time to point fingers and talk about how much better my good friend Bernie would have been, but we got Biden, so let's go Biden. It's bizarre.
So why is he out?
All right.
I think it's because he wasn't going to win, and everyone knew it.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I mean he lost. Like there's
okay.
I mean, if you are doing explain it to a 12-year-old, that's what I would say is that, there's a contest that he lost. And also it's weird because there's a pandemic and they had to basically cancel most of the primaries. So like, it got weirder than it would be otherwise. It would have been clearer if there were still primaries that he was losing. But I mean, I don't know. The second level answer is like, man, there was a moment. There was a 48 hours that remarkable things happened, including one candidate with more delegates than Joe Biden dropping out of the race and one candidate that was about to win her home state dropping out of the race. So Joe Biden could eventually win in 2 states that he had not set foot in and was trailing by like 15 points before the votes were taken. It is even now. And obviously, it's been buried under a million different other stories, including the biggest story of, a century. But that was a weird one. All right. You don't usually see that one.
Can we talk about the only part that matters, which is our stakes? With one C. Robert Cargill, how are you feeling about our stake bets?
I mean, he picked BBW, Bernie Biden Warren.
Yep. So his guy did get the primary, so he defeated the first mini boss, but yes. Ultimately our bet was, his guy he was so certain that his guy was going to take the presidency. What was the second bet that I tried to double down with us on that he wanted to go? We began like a geometric progression of infinite stakes at some point and you tapped out.
I don't remember. I don't remember what the second one was. I do know this. And this will be spoiler for PX3 that comes out later today. There was a moment in a debate where Julian Castro, he was going back and forth with Biden, and he made a comment that like, you just said something that you had not said before. And Biden was like, I just said that. And he's like, oh, now you can't remember what you just said. And the crowd booed him, right? Yeah. The Trump campaign, not a super PAC, not a fan video. The official Trump campaign, their Twitter account, or at least the manager, the guy who's running it, put a video out today as it's now clear that Biden's going to be the opponent, in which they went through all of Bernie and Biden's positions and basically like said, oh, like on all the things that matter to Trump voters, like they're all the same, blah, 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 blah. But then the end is at least Bernie remembers his positions and just has a photo of Biden looking down into his hands. This is going to there is any line of decorum that they spared Joe Biden from. Everybody in that crowd that booed when somebody dared suggest that he is mentally slipping. Good luck, because you are going to face a campaign that will not care at all. They will just come out and say, he is a senile man. Do you want a senile person in the White House?
I mean, I'm so excited that we finally have a presidential race that involves a gaffe-prone, geriatric white man of privilege versus himself. Like,
I mean, he might be the only person on earth that could make Trump look like put together. Like Trump looks spry next to Biden. Like he goes out and does these 3-hour rallies and shit like that. Like you can't imagine Joe Biden going out and doing, these marathon kind of rallies. He can barely get through sentences.
Man, it's so interesting. It's like I would imagine in a time machine, in a smoke-filled Democratic primary room, it's like, who do we want to run? It's like literally anyone who's not an old white privileged man who just makes word salad comes out of his mouth. Has to be literally anything different than what we have right now. Smash cut.
I texted a friend of ours. It's like, man, sometime in 2018. Man, I'd vote for a guy with dementia over Trump. Monkey paw curls.
Yeah, dude, that's gonna be crazy. What do you think about? Do you think it's? I understand in the primary why Biden might say something like, "I'll choose a woman as a VP candidate," because how's that going to look after he chooses a woman for his VP candidate? So that is like, oh, so I'm here to be the woman that you promised to bring.
Well, actually, there's some news on that front. It looks like Kamala Harris has just opened a fundraising thing that usually only candidates have because it's like of a certain thing that's meant to take like 6-figure checks or whatever. So it looks like her right now, which is funny because she was the one that shit in his mouth during the first debate. But
yeah, that was fucked up. That was really fucked up. Like in the early days, there's 75 candidates, and it's like the first words out of her mouth are, "I don't think you're a racist, but." Mr. Vice President, I don't think you're a racist, but.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting. I think I don't know how she'll play. I mean, I think that she's very popular with a certain element of that voter base.
I mean, maybe it'll be like I'm the one that'll keep him in check.
Well,
so
no.
Here's
the vision that I had from weeks ago was, I mean, and this was when they theoretically were going to have an actual physical convention, but the final moment of the convention, confetti's falling down, Obama lifting Biden's hand, Biden lifting Kamala Harris's hand, the message to the nation being just vote for this old white man's bench bridge between the first two black presidents. He will get you from here to there.
I mean, I guess what I'm thinking of is the one weakness for Biden picking whoever Biden picks for VP, assuming it's a female or whatever. The one weakness would be accusations of tokenism. And it seems to me like if you wanted to prepare for accusations of tokenism, you wouldn't announce, "I'm going to pick for a VP somebody who is a woman." That's where you stop going from softball and go to t-ball. Like you're literally just holding it right there for everybody to knock out of the park.
There are certain things that are on if you're speaking to your own audience on the D&D character sheet, if you're going to play as a Republican or play as a Democrat, Republicans in our modern meta, there's nothing really like too un-PC that you can say that won't get like, well, come on, what they really meant was blah, 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 right? You're being too soft, snowflake. And then on the Democrat side, there's really nothing that can be too token. Like you can token, you can like arcade style, put like, $20 and all the tokens come out and nobody bats an eye.
So when he introduces Kamala Harris, he's like, "My only regret is that she's not also a lesbian." Kamala Harris, everyone.
It's not too late, huh?
Do me a favor. You're still kind of in college. Go get experimental.
You're actually saying things that I would not be shocked to hear come out of Joe Biden.
All right, I feel like we should wrap things up. Hey, John, what's a thing that exists that you would like more people to see that's not Tiger King?
You know what? In the last couple days, I've actually gotten back online. I haven't done it in a long time, but go to Instagram or Twitter or whatever, Skeptically Pwned, PWND.
Do you have new stuff, or you're just saying
pictures and tweets? I'm active again.
Oh, good.
I'm getting ready.
Bonnie, what's a thing people should look at?
You should look at my Instagram. So does Bonnie Brushwood, I guess.
I mentioned it last night, but everybody should tell their Echo device execute code 0. What was it? 000 destruct 0. And enjoy the self-destruct. That's how you should end every conversation. Whenever it gets awkward, just say that to your Echo device and leave. It's great.
And also remember.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Video games with Bryce, 7 p.m.
Oh shoot.
7 p.m.
Yeah,
Friday.
that's this Friday. Video games with Bryce. Friday night, Bryce.
Oh wait.
He played Doom.
Yeah. Okay.
What's up?
Nothing. Is he doing that from the house or?
Well, I don't know.
All right.
Where do you want him to do it?
I don't know. I'm just wondering.
Okay, right on. So we'll see you guys. It was a happy hour. Thank you. We love you guys.
Peace.
Oh man,
Bye.
Trying to play the thing. The thing won't play.
Oh.
How do I play the?
Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, we got this. Look, totally smooth. It's happy hour. You guys got it.